What is up, my Transformers family? Welcome to George Reviews. I am your host, the 80s Transformers fan as usual. And this is the 80s Transformers fan 500th video on the channel and my first video of 2025, believe it or not. Yeah, I kind of been in my own head about what to do with my 500th video on the channel. And I kind of settled on just doing a Transformers review. I had all these extravagant things, a toy collection walkthrough, toy giveaway. And I was like, if I do a toy giveaway, then I gotta set it up, and the setup video would be the 500 video, and the actual giveaway would not be the 500 video. So I kind of scrapped that, and I had all these different ideas, and I was cleaning up the toy room and all that, and I'm like, you know what, just do a damn toy review and then go from there. So we are going to do Transformers Takara Tomy and Hasbro joint collaboration of C-03 and C-04 Transformers Missing Link. And if you don't know, these are basically Generation 1 toys with added articulation that they should have had 20 years ago when they started reissuing Transformer toys. But I've been calling for this for years. When I do toy reviews, I'm like, they can just add a shoulder joint or something. This one review I did of the 2018 Hot Rod. And some guy laid into me in the comments like, man, how many times are you going to say he doesn't have shoulder articulation? This guy, he got mean in the comments. But I got mean right back in the comments. At one point in the Hot Rod review, I keep saying the arms are like stubby like this, and I'm like, why can't Hot Rod just reach out like this? And the guy was like, not only did you say it 20 times, but you had to show the reach in your toy review. And he wasn't wrong, but I still got mad. I got in my feelings, and I laid right back into his ass. And that's what the comment section is for, baby. But anyway, I've asked for years to give us this. And then another reason I got these is because they released a pre-order of Sunstreaker and then the police car version of Sunstreaker that I've always lusted after in the Diaclone toy line. I always wanted that Diaclone Sunstreaker. So when they dropped those two, I pre-ordered both of those from Hasbro Pulse, and then these guys were sold out. So I wound up getting these off Big Bad. I had to pay like $7 standard shipping. So $47 after tax, like $50 for these, which is way too much. Spoiler alert, when the video is over, I'm going to tell you that these are not worth $40 because I do not believe that they are worth $40. In 2018, Hasbro did a mini bot reissue. I think it's like Gears. I did a review. Gears, Bumblebee, and a few guys, but not Cliffjumper. But a few guys. Bumblebee was one of them. They were like $12. Right, and then, you know, we get inflation. We add a couple dollars, make them $15 for inflation. Add articulation. Let's throw about $7, $8 for articulation. Then they got a gun, so we right around 25, just under $30 if you add inflation, articulation, and a weapon. So these guys are still at least $10 overpriced in my estimation. So I was not going to get these, but once I got the Sunstreaker vehicles, and it looked like they're going to go the distance with this toy line, even though we haven't had any new announcements. But I was like, they probably go the distance, and I don't have these, and I might regret it later on when they're going for like $80, $90. Who knows? So I went back and got them. So here they are. Here I am, and here we go.
Autobots, transform.
We're going to start with Bumblebee. And inside is a tiny Takara style Generation 1 Transformers packaging. Now with Takara Tomy on, this thing is so little, but it's also so cute. We get a little text back and file card back here. I can't read it, but I think we all know what it says. It's probably identical to the Generation 1. And right here, there's an official licensed product of Volkswagen. Bottom of the box, side of the box. Let's get Cliffjumper open. You get the exact same thing for Cliffjumper. Here's his packaging. Nice artwork right there. Oh, I didn't even mention the artwork is updated to reflect the newer style toy and the packaging. They both come with weapons now for the first time ever in the history of G1, even though this is Missing Link. We get a little 40 down here as well. 03 and 04 respectively. The back of their boxes. And let's check out the top. We should have the transformation steps. There are 3 steps on the top of these boxes. Get a file card, booklet, and a sticker sheet in case you didn't have enough stickers. And Cliffjumper. More of the same. We get a giant gun. I miss Bumblebee's gun right there at the bottom. Nice chrome goodness. These things look awesome already. And again, over here we get a booklet, sticker sheet with multiple sticker designs for the Autobot logo and a file card. All right, let's get these guys out of the styrofoam, bring them a little bit closer and check them out. They're packaged obviously in their robot mode. I can feel the differences in the shoulders right here already. We got articulation. It feels like a totally different toy. This plastic feels harder and more substantial than the standard Generation 1 Bumblebee, even the reissues. This thing Cliffjumper out here. My favorite Generation 1 mini bot. Looks and feels great, but man, are these things tiny. They always were, but they are tiny for the 40 bucks each. Yeah, this is pretty darn cool. Check out the back of Bumblebee. Very similar but different. We got rivets back here going on now throughout the back of the figure. The stickers on the back of the head appear to be a faithful recreation of the Generation 1 toy. They're a little bit more shiny, a little bit more glossy. You can tell they were made recently. The Autobot logos are printed on these guys. Looks pretty good. Wish they outlined it in white, but still cool. And now for the brand new weapons for the first time ever. Generation 1 mini bot, other than Outback, has a gun. And Outback, let's take a look at that blaster. I was getting a little bit ahead of myself. It is completely chromed out. I got it covered in fingerprints already. It's supposed to be the little generic gun the Autobots had on the cartoon, or mini bots, or Bumblebee specifically, when he got out of the back of Wheeljack on the first episode. And we're just going to slide it into this peg hole in his hand. And here we go. I'm going to do the same thing for Cliffjumper. And let's get in his hand. I think that, no, Cliffjumper gun is different. It actually looks like a small version of Generation 1 Jazz's blaster. I'll bring that out and try to compare. And I really didn't pay attention to Cliffjumper's gun on the cartoon. I assumed it was the same little generic. I'll have to take a look and see if this is cartoon accurate. I'm pretty sure it is because they included and they changed it, but there it is. Here are guys. Right, before I get too far into the review, we take a look at the instruction sheet and sticker sheet that we get, and also a data card if I can get it out. All right, here is, I thought this was a data card. It's some type of information card that I can't read. It's got a little hole in it. I guess you can put it on a necklace or something. It says Bumble down here, Cybertron right there, because they were Cybertrons and not Autobots in Takara continuity or whatever, but it's the same image from the front of the box. The reverse of the card has some images of the toy and something down there I can't read. Maybe you can. You can translate it if you want to. Bam! Then we get an instruction booklet, and this is a pretty big booklet for this little guy. It has a lot of good information that I cannot read. It shows you where to put the gun, how to put the gun. Something's going on with the back of the figure, and it shows you, I know what this is even though I can't read it, the new points of articulation. We got one in the head neck area, which I did not know about, and the elbow and the hands and the waist and the, what's that, knees, ankles area. For Bumblebee, it shows you the transformation, the rub sign. Do we got a rub sign? Is there a rub sign? I didn't see a rub sign. There's a rub sign right there. And we also get a decoder, which I don't see. And let's go for the sticker sheet last. I ripped the little thing. I was expecting a little decoder. I've seen those little decoders for the smaller guys. And we get some stickers. This is the sticker that goes on to Bumblebee's chest, like above the Autobot insignia right here. In some regions, it came pre-applied to the toy. None of the Generation 1 Bumblebees, I believe, came with a sticker sheet. So this is a nice new inclusion because they printed on the Autobot logo right there. So if you so chose to, you can add this on top of that if you wanted to. Then we get the Autobot logo from the artwork from the card back of the original toy. This is how it looked. This is what this is right here. So you got an option to make it look like the original box art. Is it on this one? Either way it go, I put a little pic on the screen. You can kind of see it right there, kind of squished in there. You can also see that sticker I was talking about right there, squished in there. That's very cool, very cool. And I might as well not open up this one because it's like the equal opposite. Same thing over here. So, you know what? Just in case, let's take a look at Cliffjumper's file card. Same artwork from the box, the reverse of that. And yeah, I believe everything else is the same. So, yeah. Let's check out Bumblebee first. Bring him a little bit closer. It is the same battle mask head as the vintage toy. I don't know if it's the exact same one, but it looks like a faithful recreation of that. Just a silver face with a silver visor, mouth plate similar to Optimus Prime. Little antennas. Now for the chest, we get the printed on Autobot logo. I brought that up a couple times. And then we get the arms right here at the shoulder, and they roll around on this joint back here. We get a full 360 out of his hands for the first time ever, and again in and out, sort of butterfly style. We can extend the arm. He bends at the elbow. He's holding the hell out of that tire though. He's not putting it down, but this is what it should have been in the first place. We got some molded in finger detail. There is a thumb right there for Bumblebee. On this hand is the gun that we added from the cartoon when he first stepped out on the first episode of Wheeljack, and he was firing at the Decepticon Seeker Jets or Tetra Jets. And I do believe, I don't know if the hands rotate or rotates at the elbow. So the elbow swivels. I thought maybe the hand rotated, but the elbow bends and swivels. So that is very cool. Now coming down to, I don't know if we call this his waist, underneath his stomach or whatever, we can get the legs out this far to the side. And Bumblebee can kick forward this far and back this far. Not really back. I don't want to break it. Does it come back one time? I don't know. I don't think it comes back. So this is what I'm getting out of it from front to back. And I'm bending this leg. So it comes back a little bit. And then it bends at the knee. So let's bring it forward. And the legs come forward. This guy, Bumblebee, can sit down, everybody. All right, let's see if he has some type of ankle articulation. Yup, he has a rocker. He can get like a little bit of a wider stance. See if we can get him down on the ground. Nice. And lastly, I should have started with this, but Bumblebee can look left and right, swivel his head. He can always look down. I guess that doesn't count. And he can't look up. But that is so cool that they added that. Next up is Cliffjumper. Let's take a look at his face. Zoom in. Looks just like the original. I'm going to do a comparison in a second. No need to go over the articulation. Check out his gun. And this is actually from the cartoon where it looks a lot similar to Jazz's gun. And I think it may have been a cartoon error, but they went with that. He was seen with a few, like Bumblebee, a few different little guns here and there. But this will do for the representation. It is actually cartoon accurate at some points in the cartoon. But this isn't the gun that we're after with Cliffjumper. We want the Megatron Killer. And here we go. It is gorgeously chromed out. It has like the tripod stand right there. We got not a molded in trigger. He has no finger to put through it anyway, but they didn't bother with a hole. Back of the gun is hollowed out a little bit. And in the front of the gun, let's get this thing in his hand. Cliffjumper said,
Cliffjumper, what are you doing? I've got Megatron dead center
I was
in
like,
my
what
viewfinder.
are you doing? He was like, I'm going to end this once and for all. This is so cool and unbelievable to get on a Generation 1 Cliffjumper, even though it is missing Link. This is very, very cool. All right, now Generation 1 Bumblebee versus the missing Link Bumblebee. And let's take a look at those face plates. This head over here looks a little bit bigger. The forehead definitely looks like it's sticking out a little bit more. If I can get this to focus, dang it. But the silver over here is done better. Actually, the detailing in the mask is actually done better. It's like pressed into the mold a little bit better. So I think this is a totally updated head to look like the Generation 1. But it actually looks like a new toy. Of course, the legs are different. And the front of the car appears to be different as well. These little feet look to be smaller than the vintage one. I turned the arms around so they kind of look the same. They still got that little divot right here from in between the tires. And the back of these guys. And Cliffjumper versus Cliffjumper. His head sculpt was always great. And yeah, it looks a little bit more refined over here. If I can get it to focus. Alright, there we go. I think, is that it? I don't know. Do we got it? There we go. That head sculpt looks a little bit better than the vintage one. I know it could just be me but it looks different. It is different. So a lot of different things going on over here. The corners are sharper. And you get it's the same but different. It's updated. And we still have the rubber tires. I'm going to save it for vehicle mode, but in case I forget, we have the rubber tires. And speaking of vehicle mode, let's do it. Let's get this guy transformed. So I'm just going to put the head down, and I don't know. It's kind of like hanging out on me. I don't know if I got that right. Push this in here. Rotate the hands back around. Should let the hands rotate in the first place. And just push this in. I'm assuming we just pushing the legs, line them up and push them in. It's a little bit more complicated than before. Okay, let's bring them down. Or turn them down. See if I can get it to push in. Yeah, definitely some different engineering and mechanics going on, like as it should be, but I just found the rub symbol. The box said they had a rub symbol. I'm taking the tire off. The box said there was a rub symbol, and there it is. And the hands actually peg in and hold on. Wow. Didn't realize that. And with a little bit of fumbling and bumbling, here we go. I think that is it. But the head kind of sticks out. It must be because of the new joint. The head sticks out just a little bit right there. And here's our Generation 1 Cliffjumper. Very nice. Alright, let's get Bumblebee transformed, and hopefully I can do this a little bit better. I'm going to transform the head. I'm going to go to the feet this time. And this guy is very stiff. And I missed it. I just smashed it together on the other one. There's a peg and a port system between the feet. We're going to line that up. And see if we can just push that in there. And there we go. And again, we have pegs down here. And there's his Autobot symbol. And some stamping under here that I just glossed over. Made in China. Volkswagen and Tomy under there, and line this up, the peg and the port. Get that hand to go on there. Come over here. Repeat the beat. And yeah, definitely much better after the second time around. And here we go, and that head is not packed in there any better. But here are our guys. They feel different, but they look the same, look good, roll well. This is very nice. We still have the chrome, we still have the rubber, and we have the rub sign. And this is much better. They should have put the rub sign underneath all Autobots and not just splotched it wherever they could. Or Decepticons. All Transformers should have had it like behind them or underneath them. And the rub sign works just like new. Give Cliffjumper the rub sign treatment. And bam, authentic Autobot. Very nice. Alright, the Generation 1 is in this vehicle mode. Here are the two side by side. They took the Dunlap off the tires. I just peeped that out. That is going, I guess they was like, we're not paying for that trademark. Here we are side by side. You would have to stare really hard to see the difference. Actually, I can. Like, these windows are different inside, among other things. But yeah, faithful recreation other than the updates. Very nice still. And now for our Cliffjumpers, which, okay, this is the original and this is the missing link. The Porsche deform mode. The back sticker. The same but just more modern. Very nicely done. Oh, gone is the little die-cast square right here. The Generation 1 toy has a die-cast square, and I guess this is a spare tire, and it's plastic over here, so that is gone. We lost a bit of die cast in the translation. Alright, it's time to give Bumblebee and Cliffjumper the size up and rundown. Now I can go on forever, but here's the most relevant. Missing link Optimus Prime. And from the cartoon accurate 1986 Transformers line, here's Generation 1 Hound. Alright, time for the wrap up on Missing Link, Bumblebee and Cliffjumper 03 and 04 respectively. I really like these figures. I didn't think I was going to like them this much. Initially, I passed on them and it almost sold out and got away from me. Love the inclusion of the chrome weapons, the articulation. I thought it was going to like barely get there. They really can't reach across the chest, but then again, the chest is a big bubble. But they are cool. They retain most of the original details except for that little bit of die cast in the back. And I think that's to help the back function with the articulation of the arms. I'm pretty sure that's what it is. These are totally different toys than the originals and the reissues from the ground up. I thought they were going to use like the shell and retool underneath for the articulation, but they're built to look the same, but they are different. You can see like a slight size difference throughout the toy. I know I got the eye for it. I don't know if I pointed out well in the video, but this is a totally new build, and I think maybe that's might be what a $40 comes from. But are they really worth $40? Just going off the small stature. I've spent more for less, like on SH Figure Arts Gohan, but and I know these guys transform, they articulate, and they come with accessories, but $40 is asking a lot for these figures. And then if they continue the mini bots, that's a lot down the line, especially considering the fact that we can get the reverse colors of these two. Like we can get the red Bumblebee and the yellow Cliffjumper. They could do a lot with this mold and stretch their money that they spent tooling this new toy, and with other figures down the line, like with Hubcap and maybe Bumblejumper. But for me to sit here and say, yeah, you got to get these if you don't have these, you know, being a Transformer guy and Transformer background with a Transformers channel, I would feel guilty recommending this to everybody. But you saw the review. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments below. Do you have them? Are you thinking about getting them? Has this review influenced you at all? And that's all I got for you guys. I want to thank you all for watching another episode of George Reviews. The reviews where every toy has a story.